Welcome geniuses, I'm Genie, your best buddy for A-levels. In this channel, we'll bring you to explore the secret formula behind success.
The question that we are going to discuss today is about the past year question of the year 2019, October-November paper, variance 31. Have a look at the part 1. You are asked to differentiate cos x over sin x and then show that if y equals to cotangent x, then the dy dx is equals to negative cosecant square x. So for the part 1 is about differentiation. As for the part 2, you are asked to show that this integration is equals to 1 over 4 pi plus ln 4. So for the part 2 is integration by parts. So let's start with the part 1. Part 1, according to the question, you are asked to differentiate cos x over sin x. So let's do the part 1. Differentiate cos x over sin x. So this is a quotient, so we need to differentiate by using the quotient rule. So according to the quotient rule, the first thing is to copy the v. The upper part is your u, the bottom part is your v. So copy the v, which is the sin x, differentiate u, differentiate cos x, we will get negative sin x, minus copy the u, which is the cos x, and differentiate the v, differentiate sin x, we will get cos x, over v square, which is the sin x square. Okay, that's how we differentiate the cos x over sin x. So let's simplify a bit. You will get negative sin square x minus cos square x over sin square. Okay, that's the very first part of the part 1. For the part 1 second part, you are asked to show that if y equals to cotangent x, then dy dx is given by this. So notice that the cotangent x is actually the same as the cos x over sin x. So which means if you differentiate cotangent x, you will get back the same answer over here. Then you just need to rearrange to get the answer in this form. Let's try this. So now y equals to cotangent x, dy dx will be equals to the answer in this part, which is negative sin square x minus cos square x over sin square x. So how to simplify into the negative cosecant square? Cosecant is actually 1 over sine, so they just want the answer in the cosecant square. So let's try to simplify this by factorizing the negative from the upper part. We will get sin square x plus cos square x in the bracket over sin square x, and sin square x plus cos square x is actually equals to 1, so it's left with negative 1 over sin square x, which is equivalent to negative cosecant square x. That's how we show for the part 1. For part 2, you are asked to show that this integration is equals to 1 over 4 bracket pi plus ln 4. So take note here, for the x multiplied with cosecant square x is actually a product, which means we got to integrate this expression by using integration by parts. So before we can do the integration by parts, we got to arrange this product in the correct order. For me, I will advise my student to arrange according to the word I late, where the I stands for the arctangent, L for the ln, A for the algebra, T for the trigo, and E for the exponential function. So have a look at this two product. X belongs to algebra, cosecant square belongs to the trigo, which means for this product, the X is the U, cosecant square is the dvdx. Let's try the part 2. Somewhere here. The question is integrate from pi over 4 to pi over 2 for the x cosecant square x dx, where the x is the u, cosecant square is the dvdx. The integration by parts formula is actually provided in the formula list. In case if you forgot, I'll jot down here at the side. Integrate a product u dvdx is given by u v minus integrate v du dx. So now we need to integrate our product by using this formula. According to the formula, we need to have u and v, and our u is the x, so let me jot down the x first. And to get the v from the dv here, which means we need to integrate cosecant square. But how to integrate cosecant square is actually related to the part 1. Have a look at the part 1 here. This is the cosecant square. So when you differentiate cotangent x, you get negative cosecant square x, which means now when you integrate cosecant square x, you will get negative cotangent x. This negative, you got to move over to this side. Alright, so integrate cosecant square x, you will get negative cotangent x from the part 1. And according to the formula, it's minus integrate v again, so which means we jot down the negative cotangent x again, and it's du here. So to differentiate the u, which is the x, is actually equals to a 1. That's how we apply the formula. So for the first part here is already completed. So let me jot down negative x cotangent x. And for the second part, you will need to integrate the cotangent x. So how to integrate the cotangent x? To integrate cotangent x, you will need to split the cotangent x into cos x over sin x. And to integrate this, you got to integrate by using ln. To integrate by using ln, the upper part must be what you differentiate from the bottom. So when you differentiate bottom sine, you get cos. It's already in the correct form because according to the ln's integrations formula, let me jot down, it should be in this form, f prime x over fx. If it is already in this form, then we can straight away just ln the bottom part. Alright, so since this is already in the correct form, so I can just straight away ln sin x. Right, so now we can substitute the limits into it. So to sub in the limit first, we sub in pi over 2. So negative pi over 2 times cotangent pi over 2, which is 0, plus ln sine pi over 2 is a 1, minus substitute pi over 4 into it, you will get negative pi over 4, and the cotangent pi over 4 is a 1, plus ln sine pi over 4 is square root 2 over 2. This is how we substitute the limits into it. Then we just need to adjust to what you're asked to, which is 1 over 4 pi plus ln 4. Alright, so let's simplify this. This is 0. Ln 1 is 0. So you are left with pi over 4 minus ln square root 2 over 2. And how to factorize the 1 over 4 from both of these terms? For the second term, you need to make some adjustment. Pi over 4 minus ln. Alright, so for the square root 2 over 2, if you square it, you get 1 over 2. If you square it again, you get 1 over 4. So I just write the 1 over 4 here, and then just now we squared for 2 times, right? So to reverse the process is actually you need to put it to the power of 1 over 4. Alright, then I'll continue here. So it's equals to pi over 4 minus the 1 over 4, the power can bring to the front as coefficient, and ln 1 over 4 you can express as 4 power negative 1, and eventually the power negative 1 can bring to the front to join with this negative. It becomes a positive 1 over 4 ln 4. And now we can factorize the 1 over 4 and make it pi plus ln 4. That's how we solve for this question.
That's all for today's video. If you're interested in more genuine sharing by other geniuses, please subscribe to our channel and don't forget to turn on the notification bell, ding dong. Also, if you're struggling with 1 or 2 past year questions and the mark scheme just doesn't seem to help, Genie has got you covered. Feel free to let us know what question it is by filling in the Google form linked in the description below. GenieUs Hub will get genius teachers to fulfill your request for the solution. Genie will see you next time. Bye-bye.